Okay, we're now on page 2 of your petition. Again, it's a 3-page petition. On the top of this form, we're going to list if you have any prior bankruptcies. If you have filed Chapter 7 within the last 8 years, measured from the file date of that petition, then you're not eligible to file Chapter 7 again for 8 years. That doesn't mean you can't file bankruptcy, though. Let's say 4 years ago you completed a Chapter 7. Well, we can file a Chapter 13 petition and give you protection. So all of these rules that we go through, you know, there's loops and exceptions to all of them. But if you don't know your case number, your prior case number, when you come in and visit with me, don't worry about it. I can look up on the federal index and find that case number and the date it was filed, so don't worry about that. You're going to complete Exhibit B, that your debts, or I'm going to complete it, that I've advised you as to what chapter you can file on under, whether 7, 11, 12, or 13. So I complete that. Exhibit C is only really for companies, where we check the yes box. That's if you've created some kind of an environmental hazard. Those debts are probably not going to be dischargeable, and that's why they want to know that. Here's Exhibit D again. They just want to know if you've taken that pre-counsel course and attached your pre-counsel course certificate from the provider. Venue, where we go into venue, you can file bankruptcy in the wrong location, and that's called venue. Let's say that you are a Kansas resident and you file in Missouri. Well, your petition will go through without any problem unless the trustee or any one of your creditors objects. If that's the case, then your case is, even though you filed it in Missouri in the wrong place, your Missouri case is going to be transferred to Kansas. Now, if no one objects, your bankruptcy will go through just fine. There's a section here for residential rental property that really isn't important. It doesn't apply to that many people. Now, page 3 of your petition, this is where you, and if it's a joint filing, your wife, are going to sign. And I'll point out again, you know, it's important. I declare under penalty of perjury that the information is true and correct. So if you're in a lawyer's office and he or the paralegal or secretary or somebody just point out to you where to hurriedly sign something, then you run. You've got the wrong law firm, because this is a document that you're bound by. The fact that you told the attorney or told the secretary in the law office something and it doesn't show up in the petition, the bankruptcy court doesn't care. You are responsible for what is and what is not in your petition. So the fact that your attorney was negligent in not putting it in the petition, you're still bound by that. So that's how important it is to choose a good lawyer to make sure that everything is in the petition. So you're going to sign that. Down below, I'm going to sign it. So that's your bankruptcy petition itself. Going on, the first document that we're going to have after your petition is what's called the summary of schedules. And this is kind of like the totals sheet for the rest of your bankruptcy. It's going to list how many pages we've got, and if we've got everything in your petition that we need to include in the petition. It's important data, and as we go through, I will complete each of these different summary schedule entries. The second page is a continuation of that summary, and they want to know if you've got any domestic support obligations. If you're filing Chapter 7, then you need to stay current on your child support payments while you are in Chapter 7. You don't necessarily have to make up any delinquency, but you need to stay current on those month payments. That's important. If you owe any taxes, certain taxes. That category, and I'll get into that down below, but usually it's in certain income taxes and excise taxes. Excise taxes for consumer debt are not going to apply to you. Claims for death or personal injury while debtor was intoxicated. That debt is not going to be dischargeable, and therefore they want to know about that. Student loan obligations. Your student loans are going to be listed with your unsecured loans, and for the most part they're not going to be dischargeable. If you have a situation where you are disabled or there's some serious medical problem, then we can get it discharged for what's called extreme hardship, and there's a whole slew of cases and different matters that we have to go through to get a student loan discharged. Domestic support and separation agreement obligations. Again, during a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, you're going to have to stay current with your alimony payments or maintenance payments. That's really, on that summary of schedules, the average income and average expenses, that's going to show up down below in all the forms that I'm going to show you here shortly. Okay, here's the first schedule that we're attaching to your bankruptcy petition, and we're going to list all of the real estate that you own. And it has a broader scope than a lot of people might think of on first impression. Let's assume that your mother is getting up in years, and she doesn't want her house to have to go through probate when she passes away. So she's put your name on her house as well, on the title. Well, that's going to have to be listed within this schedule of real estate. Now, that doesn't mean that any of your creditors are going to get that property, but we do have to list it, and we have to explain within our description what the circumstances are between you and your mother. I'll handle that, and again, in the videos that I make available to my clients, I fully explain what we're going to do on that kind of a circumstance. Personal property. By the way, as I'm wrenching my neck during all these videos, what I'm watching for is to make sure that I don't go beyond that 10-minute limit on YouTube. So I always have to watch and make sure I haven't went beyond 10 minutes. Schedule B, personal property. It's going to list all of your personal property. So let me quickly point out some things that are important on this. On your checking and savings accounts, we are not going to list your account numbers. We're going to put checking account, Liberty Bank, Springfield, Missouri. We're not going to put any account numbers in there. What frequently gets omitted, and then it requires an amendment later on, let's say that you've got a daughter in the 5th grade, and she has a savings account, and your name is on that account as well. Well, we're going to have to list your daughter's account in Schedule B. That's a requirement. Now, again, it doesn't mean that anyone's going to take your daughter's account, but we need to list that account and then explain that you don't have any interest in it other than just your name being on it. So those are things that, again, I go through in the videos for my clients, but I want you to understand it right now. Property claimed as exempt. This is where we list all of your property that nobody can get under Missouri exemption laws, if Missouri exemptions apply. If you watch the segment on the tutorial, depending on the circumstances, if you've lived more than in 2 states, Missouri and somewhere else, during the 730 days before you file, we may file in Missouri and use the exemptions of another state. So I want you to watch that segment, but people worry, of course, about whether they're going to lose their property. They'll come in and ask me, well, gosh, I don't want to lose my home, or I don't want to lose my car. Well, this is what protects you. This is this property claimed as exempt. It isn't that you and I have to win a trial to protect your assets. We simply have to have the right exemption statute to protect your assets. This and the statement of intention that I'll get to later here, they protect all of your assets. So you don't need to be concerned about keeping your home or keeping your car or your other property. In 99% of all consumer bankruptcies, everything you have you're going to keep. And you're going to keep them because of this Schedule C, property claimed as exempt, and the statement of intention, where you tell the world what you want to do with your secured loans. So don't be concerned about losing your assets. We just need to do this form properly, and you're protected.